Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of On Another Line Live. My name is Tyler Waller, your host here for tonight. Tonight we have a really exciting episode. We're joined with the MPFL pro Cameron Wilt, who is also on the Angler Expert team as well as a member of the Lure Lock team. So something we have in common. We're going to get with him, talk about that, see how, basically talk about the MPFL, see what it's about, because it's a new fishing community or fishing league that's just coming about, and we'll get him to get you some information about that. I'm not sure that you can get into it. You maybe can. I don't know. We'll talk to him about that. But anyway, this past weekend ended up going to St. Clair. Kyle and I went to Lake St. Clair. We left his house in Dayton, Ohio, or close to Dayton, in 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning. Drove to Lake St. Clair, put in at 9 Mile boat ramp, and absolutely put a thrashing on some smallmouth bass. Like, we absolutely crushed them. Like, we caught 53 smallmouth and largemouth bass. We caught about 50 smallmouth, 3 largemouth. We caught an absurd amount of rock bass, a few white bass, a few sheephead, but we caught 53 smallmouth and largemouth bass in a few hours there. It was, probably 8 to 10 hours. We absolutely had a ball. We were sitting there trying to get ready to fish for 2 days at that point, 2 more days, all day Saturday, 3/4 of the day Sunday, and drive home. The weather did not cooperate. Aaron Webb, what did you catch them on? We actually smoked them on a tube and a Ned rig. Ned rig using a Z-Man Finesse TRD. Canada Crawl seemed to be the best collar. We needed to use big heads because the wind was ripping. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It was about 8 to 10 mile an hour most of the day, and then it started getting up to 15 to 20, and basically stayed there all the way through Sunday. We actually left Saturday night because it was going to be blowing a lot, and we weren't going to be able to get out on the lake anyway. It was blowing four. We were fishing in 4s one day, and it's just miserable, man. You can still catch them, but it's miserable. So we caught them there on an Ed rig. The tube was a coffee tube. Caught some fish there. The biggest fish we caught for Friday was 4.73 pounds. But I'm actually editing the video right now. I'm going to show you guys here really quickly. I will share this screen with you. If you guys see this screen here, these are all clips from smallmouth and largemouth catches throughout the weekend. So it was a pretty crazy day on Friday. Again, this is all just Friday. This is all fish catches there. So it's going to be a phenomenal video. If you follow my YouTube channel, you'll be seeing that very, very soon. I wanted to get it out today. I potentially may not even get it out tomorrow because there's so many clips to edit. We catch 53 fish. I really don't know if I want to add all 53 on there or not, because it just gets boring to watch fish catch after fish catch after fish catch. But we did catch them on a tube. We caught some on a drop shot. I actually caught a lot of fish before I lost mine on a Mega Bass Dark Sleeper. I love that thing, man. I knew they were going to eat it up there. I caught fish after fish after fish. I made a cast. My line got wrapped around one of my guides, and I broke that thing, and it's I donated it to the fish gods. So let's see. Aaron wants a 6-pound test. No, actually, I never use 6-pound test hardly. I'm a power fisherman. I want to think that my leader was at least 10 pound. I know on one of them it's 12 pound. The water wasn't super, super clear. The fish are still bedding on St. Clair. Most of the beds are actually still occupied. Some of them are not. 6 to 12 foot of water on the mile roads. We found a lot of fish there. We found some fish north of Harley. If you know where that ramp's at, we caught some fish in there. It just depends on where you can fish. A lot of times, if you get up into Anchor Bay, if the water is a lot, if it's blowing out of the north, guys, Lake St. Clair is a brute to fish. But usually, when it's blowing out of the north, one side or the north or south of the lake will be calmer enough to fish. So, Aaron, if you guys get up there in the month, I know they're still going to be biting. One of the things that you have to figure out is that St. Clair in July, I hate it. It's weird to say. It's one of my favorite places to fish, but in July, it's just very, very tough to create. So he says 9 mile between Detroit River and a boat ramp. We put it at 9 Mile. I would go north of 9 Mile. That's where we caught them, like between between Metro Park and 9 Mile, which I know that's a long distance there, but you can find them there. That's where we found them. Again, 6 to 12 foot of water. Most of them are bedding. I don't know if they will be at the end of the month. You may still see some on there. So hopefully you catch them. Let me know how it goes. Micah Hobensack, so what's going on, Tyler? I've never been there, and I want to make a trip there soon. How much does it cost? License run there? You have to get a Canadian license too, right? So yes and no. You have to get a Michigan license for sure. Michigan license is $76 for non-residents. That's what I paid. You can get a Canadian license. You don't have to. You just have to make sure that you're not fishing in Canadian water. You have to have one thing about the Canadian water that a lot of people don't understand is that you have to have a what's called a sportsman's card and a license. The sportsman's card, I don't know what it is. It costs you like $4 extra, but it's good for 3 or 4 years. You definitely want to make sure you get that stuff taken care of prior to going because you can run into hassle with not having that. So the answer is that yes, you definitely need to have it. If you're going in July, you definitely need to. August, especially the hotter months, it seems like the fish move towards the Canadian water. Bell's Hump, places where the Detroit River and stuff. That's definitely it. So you don't have to have a Canadian license as long as you stay out of Canadian water. You can definitely do that. There's plenty of water in the Michigan territory to fish without going into Canadian water. Rocky Brenner, so what state? We have a large Lake St. Clair here in Georgia. Lake St. Clair is in Michigan. It's in Detroit, Michigan. So without further ado, guys, we're going to bring on Cameron Wilt, the MPFL pro. We're going to get his take on what the MPFL is and what it's all about. So without further ado, there is Mr. Cameron Wilt. What's going on, Cameron? How we doing, buddy?
What's going on?
So a lot of my followers, I'm sure, don't know who you are. So take this opportunity to introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
All right, my name's Cameron Wilt. I'm going to be an NPFL professional starting here in March 2021. I fished the college tours for the past 4 years, 2 years at Ohio State, 2 years at Bowling Green State, just graduated here in May. So, yeah.
That's cool. So let's talk about the NPFL. You said we were talking before the show started, and we talked about how you got access to the NPFL. And you mentioned that they were doing some podcasts and stuff. I guess the first question is, can you still become a part of it, or is that ship already sailed?
Yes, you can. So they are actively still seeking out applications. So if you go to their website, the National Professional Fishing League.com, they're going to have a little applications area right there. You go in, you can send in your fishing resume and all that and try to get in. So, yeah, they're still seeking people.
That's cool. So the MPFL, is it like an MLF style, or is it five biggest bass, or how's it going to work?
It's going to be 5 fish limit, 125 angler field. They're going to fish all 3 days, 6 events throughout the year, 2 in the spring, 2 in the summer, 2 in the fall, and then no entry fee championship.
That's awesome. So what are the entry fees? Has that been determined yet?
Yeah, it's $5,000 an event. So it's going to be $30,000 for the year.
Holy crap. So you're talking, I mean, this is like,
this
is elite series.
Yeah.
Wow. Pardon me for looking shocked because I'm shocked. I'm not going to lie to you. $5,000. So, I mean, that's a ton of money. So I guess, I mean, I'm sure the payouts will be worth it.
Yeah, it's 1 in every 3 anglers gets paid. At the moment, it's $50,000 top prize, and then it's like 50, 40, 30, 20, and then it goes down a weird increment. But then the 44th place is $9,000. So if you cut a check, you're making a pretty good chunk of change for the tournament.
Yeah. So hold on a second. Hey, Wes, Ryan, what's up, buddy? Glad that you joined us. So yeah, so that's I guess so. There's 125, so you're going to be less than half the field, but a little less than half the field's cutting a check. So the checks are fairly large. I get there. So and you say the championship is a no entry fee, right? So how many people get into it?
25. So it's top 25 for the AOI points.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You may have mentioned that. I just didn't hear it. But so top 25 people make it to the championship. Has that already been determined, or is that something like that? You know where it's going to be?
No, we don't know where any of the tournaments are going to be yet. The latest that I've heard is that they're going to tell us in October. So what they're doing is they actually promised us as anglers that they would not interfere with the Bassmaster Opens because they don't want to take the opportunity away from us to qualify for the Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah, that's crazy. So that's, I mean, I'm still sitting here chewing on the $5,000 entry fee, which I guess, 30 grand is a lot. So, I mean, is that something you're footing out of pocket, or you got some sponsors helping you out, or what's up with that?
So right now I'm actively seeking out sponsors, trying to help, but I'm also a charter captain up on Lake Erie, running walleye trips, smallmouth, all that. And at the moment, I'm going to foot as much of it out of pocket as I possibly can. But at the moment, I got a budget set up to where we will cover it. Due to the coronavirus and all that, it's going to be barely, but we got a budget set up to where we'll be able to fit the bill.
That's awesome, man. So I didn't know you were a charter captain on Lake Erie. I've been to Lake Erie several times. I see that you're from up around that way. Where are you from again? What part of Ohio?
So I live in Findlay. But I moved up from Texas about 4 years ago.
All right. So yeah. So is that around Tiffin, or where's that at?
Yeah, 30 minutes west of Tiffin, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm at Lake Erie at least once a year, twice a year. I'm actually getting ready to head up there and do a walleye trip with my buddy Chuck Dotson, who runs a charter called Get Hooked Charters. So smallmouth, and is smallmouth biting on Lake Erie right now? I'm sure they are, right?
They bite all year long.
That's right. You just got to find them, right?
Yeah, I was 2 weeks ago with one of my buddies. He's another charter captain up there, and we went out and we were throwing crankbaits off points, and I mean we caught every single cast for 4 hours.
That's awesome. So you're fishing shallow for smallmouth, I assume, or are you fishing around the islands with those?
Fishing around the islands, but we were fishing somewhat shallow where we were. It was kind of like a protected bay on an island where it was up in about 2 foot. There were some fish bedding up there in about 2 foot, but then there was also a school of pre-spawners sitting out in about 12 foot. Nice. So we kind of got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, we like I said, you heard me mention there, we just got back from Lake St. Clair over the weekend, and we smoked them, man. I had so much fun. We got 53 smallmouth and largemouth bass, probably 50 smallmouth and 3 largies. I don't. Is anybody out there watching? Has anybody ever ate a rock bass? We got so daggone many, dude. They were jumbos. Like I'm talking like 2-pounders. Like they were giants. I don't know. I don't know if anybody eats them or what, but if they're good, you can freaking smoke them at St. Clair. We got so many. It was crazy. But the water temperature is about 64 degrees on St. Clair. It's probably roughly about what Erie is. I guess it all flows in the same deal. It goes out of Ontario down the St. Clair River into Lake St. Clair through the Detroit River into Lake Erie. So I'm sure it's probably about the same. But they're bedding on St. Clair right now also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the MPFL, now when's the very first event?
So at the moment, the tentative kickoff date is March 1st.
And where's that at?
We don't have the schedule yet.
So is it like one of those deals where they're just like springing on you last minute?
No, they're going to tell us sometime around October area because they're going to wait till the open schedule comes out. That way they don't conflict with the opens or the Bassmaster Classic, all that fun stuff.
That's cool. So, I'm way out of the loop here. So I thought that we were fishing this year. So it's not until the 2021 fishing season. I missed that, correct?
Yep. Kicks off March.
So that'll be all right. So I was thinking it was coming up soon, and they just hadn't told you where you're going yet. It makes sense to me now. Sorry, I'm a little dense today.
It's all right.
Yeah. So I guess one thing we can talk about what we have on here right now, seeing you have the Angler bullseye there on your hat. I've been affiliated with Angler since pretty much the inception. I met Landon Bloomer, one of the founders of the company back in the day, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, probably, when Angler was just in its infancy. It was kind of like, they're like, hey, we got this really cool idea. They came to a local bait shop I had, met Landon, we talked it out, we've hit it off since then. But I think this week at St. Clair was the most fish I ever marked on one solid day. And again, that was 53 fish. Can you beat that?
Yes. So I think a week or so ago, we caught like 60 something walleye on a charter. So
That's awesome.
We were out trolling for them. So I like to set up the trips. That way, whenever I'm running the boat, I can see, oh, look, we have all these fish caught at these spots, and I'll just keep circling around those spots and just keep loading up the boat.
Yeah, I think that's really, really classic too. And now the new thing, I am a Humminbird guy. I don't plan on switching to Lowrance anytime soon. I'm getting ready to pick up a new Humminbird here before the end of the summer. But the idea of them being able to connect to a Lowrance graph and drop pins from the Angler bullseye is something that I think is a game changer, because they can, you could be, like you said, especially if you're a trolling captain where maybe, let's say that, like, for example, my buddy has autopilot on his boat. So there's a lot of times we'll just get on a line and he'll put his boat on autopilot and we'll be trolling and he'll be in the back of the boat and, we'll be dealing with all the fish and stuff when we're catching them. But being able to mark a pin remotely is pretty stellar stuff.
Yeah, I told Derek from Angler that Humminbird needs to hurry up and jump on board with that.
I agree 100%. I think it's, I think they casted a very wide net when that stuff was coming out, because we were talking about it, like Landon and a few other people were, like there was many people that have came and went in the company that we've talked to about this stuff, but they were like, I was actually taking spots off my graphs, sending it to them to get the GPX data and everything off so they could actually figure out how to incorporate, because one of the first things that came about that I really liked was the ability to export waypoints from Angler into my Humminbird. So that was one of the things that we were working on together, which is a big help. But I'm with you. I think Humminbird needs to get on the ship here. It's one of those deals. So the Angler app, if you guys don't know, is a free application. You can download it on any phone, Android or iPhone. It's 100% free. There are some premium features you can pay for. If you look there on Cameron's hat, there's an Angler bullseye there. I think it's $29. 2-year battery life. You don't have to charge it. You don't have to recharge it. It does not float. If you guys have been a part of the Angler family for a long time, you'll know that they used to have a thing called the Angler Tracker. The Angler Tracker went on a rod, and the rod it would actually track your cast, your hook sets, and all that stuff. But it would float. It was also $129. This thing here is $29, lasts you 2 years at least. I'm still using one. I've had it since the very day that they came out. I was one of the first people to get it, and I still have mine and it's still rocking it. So it's been over 2 years now that I've had it, and I've been going with it. Those of you guys that are Garcia fans, Abu Garcia fans, they actually have a rod called the Virtual, which has the Angler bullseye attached or integrated into the butt of the rod, so you can get all that stuff there. I obviously am a Shimano guy, so I'm not going to be able to use that stuff. But that's why I put the stuff on my hat there, the Angler bullseye. So with the NPFL, do you feel like that it's going to ever compete with Bass or MLF? Do you think it'll ever get that big?
I don't know if it'll compete with Bass. I mean, it's the Elite Series. Even when all the guys left the Elite Series and everyone's like, oh, it's not going to be as good. Like, they replaced those guys. They fished just as good. They kicked butt. It was still the Elite Series. It's still the top tour. I mean, you talk to people and they don't sit there, and I don't hear an endless amount of people saying, I want to be an MLF pro. People still say, I want to fish in the Classic. I want to be Elite Series pro. So I think it'll be hard to beat that. It's got the prestige and the establishment. It's just, the Elite Series. But I do believe that the NPFL in years' time will be able to come up and establish itself as a true professional organization. And it might not be seen as top tier level as maybe the NF or the MLF and all that, but I think with time it'll get close. I think it's definitely going to be seen within time above, say, like the FLW Pro Circuit right now, with the Pro Circuit now being a qualifying trail for the MLF. I think it'll kind of be seen below the MLF, but above the FLW Pro Circuit.
I get you. And I'm with you 100% with the MLF and the Elite Series. So I think that BASS done a really important thing recently, and that was showing the most recent You Follow tournament live on television. Like, I think that's something they have to do to keep up with MLF and the Pro Tour. And I think one thing that hurts. So first off, I'm all about conservation. I'm a catch and release guy. I'm CPR, I catch, photo, release. However, if I'm pan fishing for crappie or walleye, you can bet your rear end I'm going to release those to the grease. But I'm all about that stuff, and I agree. I see where they're coming from when it comes to you catch the fish, you weigh it immediately, and it goes back into the water unharmed. I think that's phenomenal. I do think that they're missing out on a lot of the fans because nobody comes to the weigh-ins anymore because there's no fish. They know who won, before they even get there. And, what are the guys going to talk about? Well, I caught them doing this. Like, well, yeah, I watched you for the past 6 hours doing that exact same thing. There's no need for me to go to the weigh-in. But the Bassmaster Classic is something that I've been to 4 now. I just saw that they released a 2021 Classic is Ray Roberts in Texas. I think it's going to be a smash fest. Were you close to that when you lived in Texas, or?
I was about 2.5 hours south of that, but that is one fantastic lake.
So have you fished Lake Fork ever, being from Texas?
Yes, I have. Actually, just back in March, right when all the Corona stuff, I was out on Lake Fork. The week after the MLF event, I went down and ended up getting a guide by the name of Justin Crawford. Went out him for 4 hours that day. Didn't catch anything. It was 6-footers on Lake Fork and pouring down rain, but
that sucks.
No.
So Cameron, Corey Weaver, one of the owners of JB's Fish Sauce, a good buddy of mine. I'm sure you can see that contact. It says contact information for possible sponsor link. When you get off here, to shoot him a message again, Corey Weaver, or you can message JB's Fish Sauce. Maybe that may help you out, especially getting everything going on with that. Also, guys, quick plug, shameless plug here. My signature series, JB's Fish Sauce, Pinch of Garlic, is available on their website. Right now, it's only available in the dropper bottles. These 4-ounce mist spray bottles will be available very, very soon. The issue is that everybody on the planet is making hand sanitizer right now, which is a huge deal. So they can't get their hands on the 4-ounce spray bottles much anymore because of that. As soon as the supply and demand chain gets back to normal, you'll be able to get this 4-ounce bottle called Pinch of Garlic. Has my fancy little On Another Line logo there on the side of it. This is my signature series sauce, guys. This stuff absolutely hammers fish. Get on there, order yourself some. I saw Brandon Buckner, a dude that I met through my show. He bought a bottle of it, went to Grayson Lake the other day, caught 17 fish using it. That's pretty unheard of in Grayson, so pretty cool deal. So get your hands on that, but definitely shoot Corey a message when you get off here.
Yeah. You can also go to I got a website, jcwiltfishing.com. I have a contact page on there.
Let's see here. JCWILT fishing?
Yep. .com.
Let's see here. Bingo. JCWiltfishing.com. Check him out, guys, if you guys want to. First and foremost, if you guys are just now joining my channel, I appreciate it. If you guys haven't subscribed to On Another Line on YouTube, I would definitely appreciate you doing that. Guys, I have a solid goal, and I am sticking to my guns. If I don't have 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year, by December, I am hanging my YouTube channel up forever. I've put so much time and effort into it. Am I going to quit fishing? Absolutely not. I'm going to be fishing. I still probably will have a Yolatech and a GoPro on my boat in case I just absolutely catch a hammer or I have something crazy happen on the boat. But I have a hard goal of 5,000 subscribers. Right now, this is one of the most important weeks that I've had and most productive weeks I've had in a long time. I had about 60 subscribers last week. I just about hit my 70 subscriber goal. But I said if I hit 2,000 subscribers, we'll give this bottle away. I have not. So that is still available. We'll give it a lay down the line. So that was one thing. I have 2,000 subscribers. So I have 3,000 subscribers to get for this summer. I'm literally going to have to do some work. I'm going to start producing videos, hopefully 3 a week, getting some information out to you guys. So if you guys don't care to share my YouTube channel at OnAnotherLine, I'd appreciate it. So very first and foremost, guys, I want to take a quick second to tell you guys that this episode is brought to you by JB's Fish Sauce and Shimano, two of the things that I definitely use on a daily basis. You will never catch me out of my house without a Shimano reel or a G-Loomis rod, and on the end of that line will be some sort of bait bought at the tackle box in South Point, Ohio, and it will be slathered in my signature series, JB's Fish Sauce Pinch of Garlic. Can't go wrong with that stuff. So, without further ado, Cameron, is there anything else you'd like to tell the masses out there about the MPFL or yourself?
Just be prepared. It's going to be pretty awesome next year. The way they're going to have it set it up for each week is they're going to have 3 practice days for us. They're going to do some media coverage for it the day before the event starts. So the events are going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays. That Wednesday is going to be a media day. So it's going to be like how the FLW Tour used to take their day off. It's going to be a media day. From my understanding, they're going to do like an expo kind of thing and have like a fan day, meet and greets with all the pros and stuff. And then all 3 days will be live streamed online. And I think last I heard, it's like 12 cameras at the moment right now, with decent amount of those traveling around to different boats throughout the day. So
that's awesome. But yeah, man, I tell you what, I can't wait to watch you. $5,000 is above my pay grade. I'd love to be able to fish that stuff, but I love fishing tournaments, man. It's my thing. But right now I have more fun just going out fishing with, like, me and Kyle went to Lake St. Clair, fished for a day, caught 53. That's my deal. I love fishing tournaments. I still may fish the BFL from the Michigan series. They changed the schedule for the BFLs. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's one on St. Clair in August. There's 2 in September, both on the Detroit River. I think like one of them is on St. Clair. The other one's on Detroit River. That's Saturday and Sunday, but they're not the super tournament. That's 2 separate tournaments. So it's like going to be looking at a $600 weekend there. Plus, so hard to say. I might get up there. But Cameron, without further ado, brother, I appreciate you joining us here on Another Line. If you ever need anything, let us know here. We'll help you out. Also, guys, if you haven't went over and followed him here, you definitely should do that. Keep us posted on your progress. And hopefully once you guys get going on this tournament, we'll get you on and we'll talk about it, see how life's going with the MPFL.
Sounds great.
Cameron, see you later, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, guys. David Howard says he finally subscribed. Brother, I appreciate it more than you know. Hey, Wes, I appreciate it. If that's still you, share it on Facebook. Wes, to answer your question, when we going fishing, we can go soon, man. I have a lot of stuff going on. It'll probably be in July before we go, but I'm definitely game. There you go. Tyler Akers is watching while rigging poles for Erie. I'm gonna jump in your rod locker and go with you if that's all right. Josh and I were talking about taking our dads, going up to Lake Erie and do some walleye fishing, but you can bet your rear end I'm going to be packing a bass boat as well. So that's definitely going to be what's going on. So, guys, we've had so much fun over the past couple of days. I'm going to try to find one of these clips here. Let me see if I can find one here to show you. We doubled up several times, Lake St. Clair, but I will tell you though, when we were at St. Clair, one of the biggest things that we found is that they were still bedding. You could fish on the beds and catch them a lot of times. Sometimes they weren't there, but sometimes they were. So here is a clip. I'll show you guys really quickly. Gotta love the old the drag. So this is a clip that you'll see on the next episode of On Another Line on YouTube. It'll be out there very, very soon. Hopefully tomorrow, depending on how much it takes me to get all this stuff done. But you know, smallmouth, in my opinion, are one of my favorite fish on the planet to catch. They're just phenomenal species. They're pound for pound the most fighting fish on the planet, in my opinion, and they absolutely give me a rush every time I catch a smallmouth. It is phenomenal. So what you see here, what you don't see is I'm actually live on Facebook as well as videoing it and talking to people live. If you guys checked out the live, not, it's on my Facebook page. You can check it out there. So, David, are you going to Erie Saturday? If you are, man, I hope you catch them up. Maybe I say Tyler will be up there too. Let me know how you guys doing. You never know, man. You guys liable to see me up there. I might just hook my boat and come up. I mean, it's only 5 hours away, right? Somebody a while ago asked me, I think Aaron Webb, if you're still watching, where I stay at. Man, I stay at a private campground. So there's not really a whole lot I can give you there. But if you want a place to stay that's fairly decent and not super, super bad, there is what is that thing called? There is I think it's a Comfort Inn. Hold on one second. I don't want to screw this up. I want to make sure that it is true. I don't think it's a Comfort Inn, actually. I'm trying to think. Josh told me about it one time, and I stayed there, and it was actually fairly cheap. It was a nice hotel, and it's a Baymont. It's in Roseville, Baymont by Wyndham, Detroit, Roseville. Do not look at the reviews on there. You know, people on reviews will hammer people. I've stayed there 3 times. The rooms are really, really nice. I mean, you're not talking about Hilton quality, but the rooms are clean. Cold AC. There's plenty of parking in the back to park your boat. You can also plug it in out there. There's a lot of stuff there. Plus, it's not downtown Detroit. It's about 5 miles probably from Harley and Metro Park, and probably about 15 miles from 9 Mile. So it is a decent place to stay there. So if you're looking for that, that's where I would go. All right. So Corey Weaver headed to Kentucky Lake Sunday, Catawba Island. So Corey Weaver says heading to Kentucky Lake Sunday. Man, I tell you what, I hope you get on them down there. Kentucky Lake is very, very weird. You might want to take a face mask with you because the Asian carp are terrible down there. But if you take a page out of Matt Robertson's book, who was on my show a few weeks ago on him fishing, he throws giant swim baits. I'm talking 6, 7, 8 inchers and catches the fire out of them down there. I don't know where, I don't know how, but I know he told me on my show the other day that if he was going to take one bait with him to the Kentucky Lake, it would definitely be a large swim bait. So maybe that'll work. Wes, definitely I'll take you out, man. One day, it's not a problem. We'll get you out. It's not a problem. Guys, I appreciate you joining me for this episode of On Another Line Live. Again, if you guys just missed it, we had Cameron Wilt, who is an MPFL, which is National Pro Fishing League professional. The MPFL is getting kicked off in March of 2021. $5,000 entry fee, I think, according to what he said. He said that they may be still looking for anglers, so you can go over and check it out. The National Pro Fishing League. Again, $5,000 a tournament, 6 tournaments. So you're looking at $30,000 which is a ton of money, but you can win a ton of money also. So if you want to throw your name in the hat of a giant fishing circuit and you think you have what it takes to fish against the best of the best, MPFL may be exactly for you. So with that being said, guys, we're going to be looking at the new St. Clair video being posted hopefully tomorrow, guys. 50-some fish catches. I'm kind of like juggling the idea of just picking my favorite ones on there. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. I know a lot of people get tired of seeing fish catch after fish catch. I need to do a better job of showing you guys tips and techniques while I'm fishing. But when you get to a place like Lake St. Clair and you're actually catching 50-some fish a day, it's very tough to stop myself and saying, this is what we're doing. Normally, when you see me doing that, fishing is really slow and I'm uber bored. So I need to do a better job about that, and that's one thing that I'm going to continue to try to get it. So Aaron says, don't forget to come down to Allen, hit it this fall, and lean on him, dude. I'm game. I'm game. Trust me. I'll definitely be down. I actually drove by Allen the other day coming back to St. Clair and thought about it. So I was going to stop there, but I'll definitely come down and fish with you. I appreciate the offer. So, guys, appreciate you joining us again. If you guys missed it, again, Cameron Wilt on here. You can go back and watch it. It'll be live on YouTube, or it's actually live now, but it won't be. It'll be posted on YouTube and Facebook. The Facebook will be live directly after this show. YouTube usually takes a couple hours to process, but it will be there. New St. Clair video coming up here tomorrow, hopefully, if I can get everything done. I'm working on that thing, as well as a lot of cool stuff coming down the line. A few days ago, somebody requested that I do a video about night fishing. I know absolutely zero about night fishing. However, I know a buddy, Tristan Cobb, down around Laurel and down around Lake Cumberland. That's all he does. He fishes third shift, I think. So he goes down there and crushes them up. Big largemouth, big smallmouth, and some freaking giant eyes. So get with him. Definitely do that. If you guys have any videos that you guys would like to see me make on YouTube or post to Facebook, let me know. Also, guys, I'm actually working right now a deal with Solar Bat Sunglasses that will allow me to bring the Solar Bat Sunglasses to you at a very discounted rate. However, it will be local pickup only unless you want to pay the shipping. I will be giving you guys more information about that as we go on. If you guys don't know what Solar Bat Sunglasses is, I posted a video last week on my YouTube or on my Facebook channel about, or my Facebook page, OnAnotherLine, about the FL1s, which is a floating bats. They float really high in the water. If you're a kayak fisherman or somebody that spends a lot of time on the water like myself, it's going to be something that you need to check out. Solar Bat Sunglasses, solarbat.com. So we'll see you guys next time on Another Line, and we will hopefully you guys see this St. Clair Smash Fest by the end of tomorrow. I'm going to get up early tomorrow and get some stuff done, and then I'm going to try to knock this thing out. So appreciate you guys joining this episode of On Another Line Live. If you can, get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line.